Hello, good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon, and aloha. Welcome back to another live stream edition of the Unidentified Celebrity Review, your home for credible news, reviews, and commentary on everything UFOs. My name's Luis Jimenez. Today we were going to have a guest, but something happened behind the scenes. The schedules got conflicted, and our guest was supposed to be here, but she just couldn't. So we're going to reschedule with Patricia Avant sometime down the road. I'm hoping in early March, April. We can get her on and talk about her film, because I'm really interested to learn about her and her story and how she got into this topic. So let's see what's going on in the comment section. Strafe, what is shaking? Just watch another interesting vid from John of the Black Vault. He would make a fantastic guest. Could he do some digging prior to the big phone home? Is Congress currently talking behind closed doors about the big phone home? Ola from London. I can't confirm 100% if congressmen are talking about the big phone home yet. I do have some news on that, especially since you're listening, Strafe, on the big phone home. Let's see here. I got a note from my producer. Screen is reversed, and mic isn't through, and it doesn't sound through the mic. Interesting. It's okay. Let me see if I can work on some audio here, guys. I have a microphone, but for some reason, when I start the shows, it switches to a different mic. So that should be better. Hopefully the sound is way better. Gerald, what is happening from London? Glad you are here. So what we're going to do today, since sort of the interview was at the last second, moved to a different date. I wanted to talk about a little bit about some of the developments as far as the big phone home is concerned. So after much deliberation and after a lot of talking and a lot of consideration and trying to determine what the best course of action, how we're going to do this, the day we're going to do this. Rusty, hello, welcome. We're talking about the big phone home. We got some news right now about it. So we're going to move the event from Monday, April 26th to Saturday, April 24th. That was actually the original date that I had in mind, but the reason why I moved it is because it was on a weekend. And I didn't think it would be as effective calling on the weekend as it would be in person. So I'm going to go over the reasons why. I've already sort of gone over the reasons why I was sort of maybe leaning toward doing this. And after talking to some people behind the scenes, after talking to some people here on the show, I'm going to be having, I've had a conversation with Stephen Bassett on the telephone privately. I'm going to have another conversation with him here Wednesday. Let me check the time. We have, I believe, I don't have the time written down here in front of me. I'll get you the time. I will be making a thumbnail and letting you guys know about that live stream, because it's a very, very important one for you to watch, because we're going to go over a lot of the steps and what we have to do to make sure that the big phone home is as big a success as we could possibly make it. Simone, welcome. Hello from Arizona. What is CG though? I don't know what CG is. That I'm sorry. When I'm doing shows live, sometimes my brain doesn't work as it normally does. But Arizona sounds like Arizona. Correct me if I'm wrong, there, Simone. But welcome to the show. So going on. So there are multiple reasons why we're going to move this event from the 26th to the 24th, and the very first reason is people are working. The 26th is a Monday. People got to go to work, especially now that vaccines are rolling out. People are starting to get back to work. The economy's slowly getting back into Casa Grande, Arizona. Well, welcome for Casa Grande. Thank you for being here. As the economy is slowly getting back up on its feet, people are not going to be able to take the time on a Monday and devote anything to this. So then the discussion was, well, how effective would it be to fill voicemails versus calling live? And of course, calling in person, trying to get somebody actually on the phone is probably the most effective way. And you, by the way, can do that anytime you want. You don't have to do it April 26th. You don't have to do it you can do it tomorrow if you want. You want to call Monday and let them know your thoughts and feelings on UAP disclosure. But with that said, my biggest fear is that there's going to be something where the American public has a legitimate anger and concern to call Congress. And I don't want this movement to be the reason why people couldn't get through. So if there's a protest of some kind or some sort of social injustice where people are wanting to call their congressmen and senators, we have to make sure that those phone lines are open so those aides and those senators and those congressmen can take the calls that, and I know this sounds weird on some levels, are more important. There are more pressing issues to the American taxpayer than UAP disclosure. So with that said, though, that doesn't mean that these congressmen and these senators aren't interested and are not paying attention. We very much have their attention. Now, the next 2 weeks are going to be all about me personally, and I will be asking you guys as well. I will be releasing a list of names and phone numbers that you can call and that you can primarily tweet at. I'm going to try and focus tweeting at these senators and congressmen first. And the idea is to warn them what we're doing on April 24th, 2021. So again, it's going to be Saturday, April 24th. We're still going to call Congress. We're still going to send emails. We're still going to send letters. Nothing changes as far as the activism side of this thing. We're just changing the date. That way we don't clog important possible time for legitimate social concerns. So Explorer Lab, I'm thinking letters would be more effective. Nobody uses letters today. A large amount of letters regarding that subject arriving the same day would be polite and significant. Maybe sharing the same. I 1,000,000% agree with you. So what I've really been working on here the last almost 2 weeks, week and a half, really, I finished it I think last Thursday, but I spent 3 full 12 to 15 hour days putting this list together. And I'm going to share this list with you guys right now. There's no link for it yet. This is going to be on the Big Phone Home website. I have the motions are by the end of this week, I'm going to have all of the images and everything I need for the website. And I'm hoping by sometime early, like the 29th or the 30th of March, I'll have a website up with a link to this file that I'm about to show you guys. So it's called the Big Phone Home Contact List. And what this is let me share this screen with you guys. And let me blow this up. There you go. So it's this folder right here that I've highlighted on my computer here with a bunch of other stuff that's in here. But right here is the list of congressmen and senators. Now, I have went through every single state and given you the district, the representative, the name of the representative that lives in that district, and what committee they serve on. So, for example, first state, Alabama, first district, Jerry Carl, Armed Services Committee. You click on his name, and then you've got a picture of his office locations right here with every single phone number, including faxes. If you have a fax machine is also incredibly effective. I do not have a fax machine, so I will not be faxing people. But it has their district office in their state. So in this case, he has 2 district offices and his office in DC. And then when you go back, you've got his Twitter handle for Jerry Carl. And by the way, I followed every single one of these. I didn't care if they were Republican, Democrat, I followed them all. If they were on any one of 6 committees, and I'm going to give you those committees right now. The Judiciary, the Intelligence Committee, the Oversight Reform Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, Appropriations, Space, Science, and Tech, and the Armed Services Committee. Now, there are many subcommittees to these committees, and there are senators that are also on versions of these committees that serve the Senate. I've got both of them. So don't worry your pretty little head off. All you have to do, the first thing I'm going to recommend on the day of, or if you want, like Explorer Lab suggested, we are going to have you guys contact your local representatives. So if you live in Arizona, or if you live in Utah or Texas or Rhode Island, you can go to your district. You can find who's in that district. And by the way, again, you got their name, district number, and the committee they serve on, and then their office numbers, phone numbers, both in DC and in their state, and then you've got their Twitter. So all of the information is there for you guys. You don't have to go between Twitter accounts. You don't have to search for anything. You don't have to look up anybody's thing. I wish these were links so it could send you directly to them. I'm hoping by next year we can work on a more sophisticated version of this list. But this is something I put together by myself, and I can assure you it was a pain in my ass. I'm not going to lie to you. So let's see here. I'll be available both days, especially Monday. I basically just answer calls and emails occasionally through the day, so I have plenty of downtime for calls and emails. Well, Rusty, don't worry. I'm going to get to all of you guys that are in this. The 11 people that are in here are going to be the tip of the spear here in the next 5 weeks. I'm going to be using you guys and motivating all of you guys to every single day. We are going to target 10 to 20 senators and congressmen. I think first thing we got to do is go through the congressmen, because there are a lot. There are many in every single state. They all serve different committees, and I want to contact every single one of them through Twitter. And I want to do it on the same day. And this is going to be leading up to the phone home. The whole point of these tweets to these representatives, I do not want you to mention anything about disclosure. We're not talking about that yet. We are simply informing them of what we are doing, which is we're going to be calling in the Congress and to senators on April 24th, 2021 to request UAP disclosure or whatever there's going to be something that I write. And if you guys want to copy it and use it, I'd recommend it. Or if you want to write something yourself, then go for it. But essentially it's telling them what the big phone home is, when we're doing it, how we're going to call them, when we're going to call them. And we're just giving them the heads up. Also, if they would like to participate, we are also inviting these representatives to come on to either my show or your show and talk to us about UAP disclosure and why, in particular, it interests them as a congressman or a senator. Now, of course, we're probably not going to get a lot, but I would not be shocked if we get a handful of congressmen and maybe even a couple of senators. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. I sent our first minister an email today. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Let's see here. Okay. Executive decision par excellence. Intelligent advice from Mr. Bassett. He knows the quagmire inside and out. He absolutely does know this quagmire inside and out. And it was also his suggestion to do this on a weekend. Now, here's the thing also, you guys. If we get, again, let's just put a number on it, 1,000 people to call and fill voicemails. And on Monday morning, these aides come in and they start writing down these voicemails. And if they get, especially in one office, if they get 3-4 phone calls on the same issue, you can bet that issue is going to be passed on. It's going to be passed up to someone. And whether or not that gets passed on to the person we want it to, who knows? But we've got to try. We got to give it a shot. So with that said, be ready here starting tomorrow. I'm going to start giving you guys a list of congressmen to reach out on Twitter. I'm going to give you their information. I'm going to at them first with the message, and then you guys can retweet it and then tweet it yourselves at them, and encourage your followers to also, tweet blast these senators all on the same day. Let's see if we can get them to publicly respond to this topic here for the next 5 weeks. And then that way, for 5 weeks, we are informing Congress, we're informing senators. And by the way, within this group of congressmen and senators and committee and subcommittee members, we are also going to be contacting celebrities, okay, like Joe Rogan, like Sagar and Jetty, like, Demi Lovato, okay, all of them. We're going to hit them all on the same day. We're going to ask them the same question and try to get their attention, just like you guys did with Jeremy Corbell, just like you guys did with Brandon Fugel. You guys pointed them in the right direction, and we got them to publicly commit to this. So that's the idea. That's the plan. I also want to share with you guys here the Senator UAP list. So with this list, the Senator UAP list, it's first broken down into committee, and if there is a subcommittee having to do with this overall committee, then it's in there. So, for example, when you go to Appropriations Committee, there's a Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies subcommittee that is a part of that. There's a Defense subcommittee, and there is a Homeland Security subcommittee, just part of the Appropriations Committee. So when you go into, say, the Commerce, Justice, and Science, you will find a list of majority members and minority members. The majority members are all the Democrats. Inside every single one of these folders is the exact same information. Now, the only thing with this list is that I just pay attention to who you reach out to if you're going to do this on your own, once this list is available, that is. Because a lot of these senators serve on multiple committees. So you don't want to pepper them twice with the same message. You want to hit them once in that day, see if we respond, if we can get 20, 30 people, ideally, to hit, Senator, in the majority. We got Chairman John Tester. And that's another thing. I've highlighted the chairman and the co-chairman of every single one of these committees. So it's in order of importance of who we're going to contact first. So in the next week, I'm going to be giving you guys a list of Twitter handles, very targeted Twitter handles that we are going to hit in the next 5 weeks. And in 5 weeks, first we're going to concentrate on the senators. And then as soon as the senators are done, I'm going to recommend everybody go to their home state in the Congress list and start hitting up your home senators in the Congress list. But I guess we'll start at the top. We'll start from Alabama and we'll work all the way down to Wyoming, and we'll hit every single one of these senators and every single one of congressmen in every single one of these districts. There's a ton of information here. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on this and share it. I've got, again, Michael Mataluni is helping me now with the website. So that's awesome news. So it's in good hands. Okay. This is what a majority of my time has been spent on. This is what I haven't shared with you guys. This is what I've been working on. This is why we don't have a website, because here's the thing. When we start reaching out to these congressmen and these senators, it is essential that we have a website and that it looks good and that we're approaching them in a cordial, calm manner. I just want them to know and have as much information about the big phone home, so that way when we actually do it and we repeat the process, there's no surprise. They are expecting it. They might even write, pre-written responses to it. Any kind of response that we get is going to be steps forward, not steps back. So, but to ensure that those steps are always going to be forward, we have to make sure that all of these things are in place. And, as I'm thinking aloud about it, we may not start reaching out to these senators until this website is up. So it might just be, we might have to squeeze this blast in in 3 to 5 weeks. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Do you guys think we need to do the website before we start warning Congress and senators, or should we just start doing it tomorrow and let and letting them know what we're doing? I maybe in that tweet we let them know website is coming soon, but we're going to tag the people involved so that way they know this is not some joke. This is not some casual thing like Storm Area 51. We really mean what we're trying to do. We're doing it with a good intention. So that's sort of the news on Big Phone Home. Rodrigo, welcome, my dude. Good evening, the Chavers, the Big Phone Home. I'm glad you're stoked about it. So let's see here. Hey, Dan. I'm Portuguese, so I guess through Twitter I can collaborate. Absolutely, you can collaborate through Twitter. There's no doubt. Also, that reminds me, and I meant to mention this earlier, especially for Strafe and you other Signal, you guys out there on the UK side of things. Welcome, Signal. I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to talk to Stephen Bassett about what you guys can do on the US side of things that will help us on this side as well, because again, we're trying to get at least from the podcast that I've heard from your side of the world there, from that UFO podcast and interview you guys did with George Knapp. It seems like not only the media but the UK government has zero interest in this, and they're going to follow the lead of the United States as far as when it comes to disclosure or any sort of discussion. Even like there's like the some of the things that happen over there that don't even get reported on by your media is proof enough that they just don't have any interest in talking about this. The culture is completely different. Whereas over here in the US, there's TV shows. We talk about Area 51 all the time. It's always on the news. We're interviewing, pilots and all sorts of crazy stories always come out. But my point is that I'm going to talk to Stephen Bassett about how you guys can get active on this side of things if you choose to. Primarily, I'm wondering if you guys can call the U.S. Embassy. And then on the flip side of that, we are also curious if we can call the UK Embassy. This is something that I'm going to ask Stephen Bassett because he really knows infinitely more than if I just Google something like this. Again, mark your calendars or ring that bell on the channel so that way you do not miss this episode. We are going to ask questions. You guys are going to have the floor when it comes to asking Stephen all of the ins and outs and the theories and the motivations as to why we're doing it this way, why we're warning them, why we're giving them the heads up, why we're moving the date to a weekend. We want as much participation and we want as much welcome as a welcoming feeling to this event as we can. So I think that's the strategy. It's a low risk, high reward maneuver. I keep saying that, but I love it because I think if we do this the right way, and it's not going to be perfect, but if we do it the right way, I think we can get a Marco Rubio to come talk to us day of. I think we can get a Dan Crenshaw and maybe some other senators and some other congressmen. That would be a huge step to have them just publicly talk about this in an open forum. Let's see here. Rodrigo, I think a video with these instructions would be very helpful. Already ahead of you, my friend, where I'm going to make and edit a video, but I'm just waiting for the website. The website is sort of the key to everything. Once that is done, then I will feel incredibly comfortable. I'm not only giving you guys this list, but making a video showing you how to use this list and how I'm going to use this list. So I've got a lot of filming to do, a lot of work to do, and a short time to do it. But right now, my main focus is this website. And so this week we're going to finalize the images and the poster and everything, all of the shareable media that having to do with the Big Phone Home to make it look like a clean, legitimate movement as opposed to a bunch of wahoos. That'll all be finalized this week. So that way I could give all of those assets to Mike and with this list, and we could put a very simple but very clean looking website together. So that way, when we start calling, when we start emailing, well, emailing is going to be a little tougher because on a lot of these websites, they ask for your zip code when you email. So emailing may not be an option unless, of course, you're in that district, then definitely email. But outside of that, don't know if it'll work too well. And then, of course, their Twitter handles, anyone can tweet at these people and you can write them a letter if you choose to do so. Now, the thing with writing a letter is that we've got a little less than 6 weeks until this event. It only takes the mail 3 days to get to where it needs to go, but the security process for all of that mail that goes through Congress and for the Senate is incredibly intense. So I don't know how long it takes, a simple letter to go from the post office through that security check, through the hands of an aide, and then into the hands of a congressman or senator. So it's very likely that even if we mail letters, they're probably not going to hit until after the event, but that's okay because that's almost like a refresher, a reminder for them that, hey, we also mailed letters, so then that way they take us seriously. And someone had mentioned earlier that, this doesn't have to be a one-day event. This doesn't have to be just Saturday. You're absolutely correct. And that is a big discussion that is being had behind the scenes and how we can sort of maybe even sprinkle this over the week. But again, we want to be careful with the time of congressmen and senators, and their time is valuable. I know, especially from a pessimistic point of view on our government and how well they function. I think time of a senator and congressman should be used on a lot more different things than what they call valuable time. But you got to kick all that crap to the side. That's got to go out of your brain. I followed senators and congressmen that I, to the core, vehemently will never philosophically understand who they are, why they're even a human. But I followed them and I'm going to be cordial with them. And I'm going to ask them politely to please look into this topic. So keep that in mind when you guys are doing this. You're gonna come across some people that, from a philosophical standpoint, you're going to disagree with wholeheartedly. But try to keep that stuff to yourself and move on, and just stick to the point. All right, so I'm going to go over some more comments here, you guys. Sort of institutional video. Absolutely. Yes. Again, we're going to be doing that. Thanks so much for doing the time consuming footwork, compiling the lists. When will it be available? Very, very soon. Again, once this website's done, all of the assets for this website, I'm looking at the calendar right now, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking in the camera. So all of the assets, today is the 14th. The assets for this website will be done by Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to be giving this list and those assets to Mike Mataluni, and I'm hoping to have some sort of rough estimation of what the website will look like by the end of next week. And then that list should be available to you guys, I'm hoping, by the 22nd. I hate to put dates on this, but putting dates on this really puts the pressure on me to make sure that this stuff gets done. But if that does push past the 22nd, just be patient. It's coming. I can assure you, this is the number one thing on my priority list right now, is getting this list to you guys. But I also want to make sure when I give you this list, I want to make sure that it's easily accessible, and easy to find for everyone else. So be patient on that end. But thanks for the question, Simone. I just know in a few years from now that this will be made into a film. Oh man, that's hilarious. I don't see it, Strafe. I'm in Hollywood. I don't see it, but thank you for the comment. That is very sweet. Yep, website first, strategy, absolutely. How long until the website will be ready? If it's a while, start getting in touch ASAP. If very soon, hold off. Well, again, is a week ASAP? Should we wait another week? because I think what we could do now in the meantime is start reaching out to maybe celebrities. Maybe we hit the celebrities first. We hold off until the website's ready, and then hit the really important people that have very close ties to this topic, and that's our elected officials. So I think that's actually, thank you for asking that question, Signal. I think that's a great question, and I think we just answered it right there. So I don't have a list that is this extensive on celebrities. If somebody wants to head that up, or if somebody because I don't know all of these. I mean, obviously I've got the big ones in mind, right? You know, the Joe Rogans, the ones that I mentioned earlier. And I know there's a lot of celebrities that have seen UFOs that that we can contact, and I'd love to get them on board, and, you know, again, invite them to this event, invite them to come and talk about either their experience, or come talk about whatever activism they're doing to help us with this event. That would be a lot of fun. So let's do that. I'm gonna, obviously I'll give you guys a list of my favorite celebrities that I think we should hit, and that way we could practice on the celebrities of the wording of what this event's going to be and how to invite them. And, you know, whoever comes up with the best one is the one I'll just copy and tweet at, you know, like, and use. Like, please, I'm leaving this up to you guys. Help me. If you guys want to help me, this is how you can help me right now, today. Let's start working on this come Monday. What are the celebrities? Who are the ones we can reach? Really think about this. And I'm not, you know, obviously, you know, UFO personalities. We want to reach out to the Linda Moulton Howells. We want to reach out, you know, to the Stephen Greers. We want to reach out to, again, the Jeremy Corbells. Let's hit them up again. Brandon Fugel has publicly acknowledged the big phone home, but he has not committed, and I've emailed him. So maybe let's email Brandon Fugel, all at the same time, all asking for the same thing. I'm going to really think about what I can fit into, I think it's 180 characters in a tweet, or 150, whatever it is, and see if we can really pinpoint what this event is, why they should come, and when it is, and see what kind of response we get out of these people, and see if we can get any curiosity from them. In the meantime, you know, we've got that what is the big phone home video that I made for Jeremy Corbell. I'm wondering if I should make another version of that, not specifically for anyone, just, you know, what is the big phone home, how you can help, maybe make it a little shorter, even more concise. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. I can also do that. I'm also going to make a video about this list so you can really see it in great detail. You know, again, like all of these states that are in here, and all of the congressmen and the congressmen that are all in these states, and all. I feel like you guys can barely see it. Let me see if I could. Yeah, there we go. I mean, maybe you guys can see it that way, but yeah, I mean, you guys see the states here. You guys see what's happening. There's a lot of info, but if we can make something like, I'll make a video again. I'll make a video describing into detail all of this list, and we will get that going. Maybe we can get a list of, again, celebrities. Or, you know, it doesn't have to be a list. Maybe we could just come up with new ones every day, and every day we just harass and hound the hell out of those 10 or 20 or 15 celebrities. I don't know. What are you guys saying? I'm going to keep going through the comments here and seeing if any of you guys responded to any of this crazy stuff I'm saying. Corbell was on BBC Radio last year and was hidden away in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, sums up their approach to the subject, really. Okay. Jeremy Corbell was on BBC Radio. Oh, okay. You mean how the UK government approaches the subject, and so I'm assuming that interview was pretty condescending. I'd really love to be able to call as a concerned citizen of another country. Well, again, we're going to find that. I'm going to ask that question to Stephen Bassett and see what he says, and see if from an international standpoint, if there's anything you guys can do. I know for sure you guys can tweet. You could tweet the shit out of this. So, you know, again, use those hashtags. The big phone home, hashtag andUAP secrecy for the UK effort side of things. Use both of those hashtags every single time you talk to or reach out to a senator, congressman, or celebrity. We have to try and get that hashtag trending if we can. I think it's really important. Maureen Smith, very excited about the big phone home. You and me both, my sister. I'll be honest with you. I just want it to be here already. I just want all of this legwork to be done. I'm starting to get really tired. I got my mom, by the way, I got my mom coming in next weekend, you guys. So you're definitely going to get shows this week, but the following week, I think I might take the week off from a recorded show aspect. I still might do some live streams depending on what breaks and what's going on or what developments we have. But the two shows on Tuesday and Friday, I might just skip the following week. And so that would be the 23rd and the 26th, no, the 25th. And so, but we do have we do have a live stream on the 24th. So that's with Paradigm Shift Radio. We've got a live stream on the 24th. But outside of that, I don't think I'm going to do the shows just because I haven't taken any shows off in over a year. We've done shows on schedule every single time. We have not missed a show. So I think it's due time for a break. I don't want to get burnt out before we get to the big phone home. So, just free thinking here. It may not happen, but it probably will. Anyway, let's see here. Maybe it'll act as a pressure point for our government. Yeah, I think it couldn't hurt. Could not hurt. Explorer Lab. I haven't heard anything about contacting media directly. Did I miss something? When you say media, do we mean the news? Because we can throw that into celebrities. I think you're right. When concerned with media, I think we should also reach out to the CNNs, the Fox News, the BBCs, all of those news, major mainstream news, the AP. I'm sure they all have Twitter accounts. I'm sure they have ways that you could reach out. I'm sure they're pretty easy to find. But let's concentrate on the Twitter. If again, 20, 30 people reach out to a BBC, Twitter account or a CNN Twitter account, they might get some eyeballs on this. They might start asking some questions. Who knows? Maybe we get a hit on CNN talking about the big phone home. That would be great. So definitely, that's something I didn't really even think about. I was, it's a great idea, Explorer Lab. So for sure. If you need anything from UAP Media, just shout us out. The only thing I need from you guys is just join us on this tweet storm to celebrities and now media members. We're gonna start, I think, tomorrow. Let's start with we'll start with 10. Let's do 5 media outlets and we'll do 10 celebrities tomorrow. Let's put a number on it. So every day we'll do 15. How about that? We'll really, really storm. And then if we see we could do more, or if you want to take it upon yourself to reach out to more people and keep tweeting and keep going, I will retweet every single time you do it. So don't let me put a number on it, you guys. However many times you want to reach out. Again, let's keep this first week concentrated on the celebrity and the media side of things. Let's reach out to as many as we can on that side. And then once this website's done, we'll concentrate on the senators and the congressmen in this list that I made for you guys. I think that's a damn good plan. I like that I did this live stream. I'm happy that we ended up doing this. So let's see here. Rodrigo, Mellon and Lou and other high ups on camera making an appeal also. That would be killer. Ideally, we're going to get Lou Elizondo on the live stream on the 24th that weekend. So that's another thing. Let's make sure that we start changing the dates on things. And that's why it's important that I get the final poster for everything done. So it'll have the final date, the final verbiage of what the event will be, and all of the names that are going to be involved so far. And that list of names will be fluctuating as we get closer to the event and hopefully growing. So yeah, I mean, the master goal, honestly, if this thing is I'm trying to figure out how to put this. If my dreams came true on this event, we would get Christopher Mellon to endorse or say something on this on a public level. That would be my dream. but let's put a very, 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 very hard reality check on that dream. It's probably not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. Let's just set that expectation now. Chris Mellon's not going to say anything publicly or hashtag anything about the big phone home. So that way, if he does, we can really get stoked and psyched about it. All right. So let's just make that promise to each other right now. I want Christopher Mellon more than anything, but we have to make sure that this is legitimate. We have to show Christopher that we're going to try and do this the right way before we ask him to join us on something that is just now starting to become, I think, really, really well organized, and is starting to become an oiled machine. Not well oiled, not running on all cylinders, but it's starting to turn over. The engine is turning over, and this is really starting to get into gear. And once this engine is running, there's no stopping it. It's just going to be tinkering, oiling, making sure maintenance. It's going to be maintenance to make sure that we keep this engine running, not just for this year, but for years coming. Lou, yes, I know. I knew what you meant there, Rodrigo. No need to correct yourself. Sorry. And sorry, I'm falling behind on these comments, you guys. I'm just free thinking and talking as they're coming along. Rodrigo Riera, that's good. I agree. More typos. A contact told me that any U.S. forward movement on the UAP subject has been made during a Republican mandate. Well, that doesn't surprise me for a lot of reasons, because when Republicans decide they want to move on something, they move on it. There's no dilly-dallying. Whether you like the party or not, they don't mess around when they want to move on something. So right now, it is Republicans that are on the forefront of this topic. And you got to put how you lean politically, if you lean against the Republicans, to the side. That stuff cannot come into your contact and into your discussions with these politicians. Your personal feelings have got to be left at the door when it comes to contacting them. I cannot emphasize that enough. But I don't know if this is true, Lab. But as of right now, as I'm looking at it, at the political landscape, Republicans are the ones pushing for this on a Senate level. So, and there are also congressmen, but on a senator level, that's some big stuff. So let's just keep pushing, and hopefully we get more. Rusty, I'm sure they spend as much time on social media as everyone else. I'm sure they do too. Maybe crowd find a sponsored Facebook ad / post, or is that silly? No, I don't think that's silly, but I've been really, really weary. I don't want to ask for money. I don't want to ask for money on this event. I don't want this to be, give us your money and let's try and make, it just gets, it's a slippery slope. I think, once I'm trying to think about this. So once the website is up, once the list is ready, and once we're maybe about 2 weeks out, maybe this question comes back into play, because I wouldn't mind getting, a couple $1,000 ideally for just strictly a Facebook post, or ads rather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, however we can make a bigger digital footprint with paid ads. Not against it. I just don't know if $200 is going to make a big difference on this. I think, if you're going to do something like this, you need a budget. You need a big budget. And so that's why I'm kind of leaning away from this and hoping more if it's a grassroots effort as opposed to a algorithm effort, if that makes sense. But I'm not totally opposed to it. I'm not totally opposed to sponsoring the event, and making like a little commercial or something for it that is, free to all. This is a free event. You don't have to pay for get a paywall. If you have a YouTube access to the internet, you're invited, so I like that idea. Maybe I play around with the idea next year. And when we got more time to plan, maybe we can do some sort of crowdsource funding for ads or a budget to do something like this. I would not be against it whatsoever. I think it's a good idea. So keep that on the table, on the back burner. Remind me of that 2 weeks out, Rusty. Don't forget. That's not a bad idea. Well done. Concise video. Reach far and easy. Thank you, sir. Let's see here. Maureen, you are just what UFOlogy needs. Get the celebrities to contact celebrities they know. You could start a chain reaction. That's the idea. I appreciate the really nice comment there, Maureen. I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope I'm what they need. But this is not about me. This is about all of us. This is about galvanizing, the 12, 13, 14 people that keep popping in and out of this room and taking this small amount of people and turning it into something important, something big. One of the things that struck me about what Lou Elizondo said when it came to UFO Twitter, and I kind of threw it under the bus a little bit because I didn't really realize the significance of it. And he checked me on that. He's like, the thing with UFO Twitter is that it is a very, I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but it's very, it's got a small following, but a very, very high impact. The impact is big when UFO Twitter decides to push something or get behind something. And that UFO Twitter is very much on the radar of the powers that be. So there's something to be said for UFO Twitter and the power that it has. So we're going to try and harness it as best we can. And I think a lot of people that are in this discussion right now are the people that can help with that. So I'm calling on you guys. Pay attention to my Twitter account here in the next week. And again, I'm going to start targeting media and celebrities that have to do with UFOs. I just got to do a little research and see who's got Twitter accounts and who we can reach out to. And if you guys got ideas, please send them my way. I would love to get as many public figures as we can, not public representatives, but public figures. So, I hate using the word celebrities. They're people, they're humans just like us. Anyway, thank you so much. Rodrigo, Sagar and Jetty and Tom Rogan on camera would have impact. Sagar went on Lex Fridman and he is stoked. I agree. I was about 20 minutes into that discussion. I have not watched this discussion throughout. I cannot wait to finish it because I know they get into this topic and they have to at some point because both of them are publicly champions for it in a way. And yes, I agree. Both of their voices, all three of their voices are at the top of my wish list of celebrities. So I think we should start there on Monday. Sagar, Tom, Joe Rogan, and Lex Fridman. Let's start definitely with those three. I think we could also add Brandon Fugel on there. And let's also add Bob Bigelow. Let's see if we can get those five on Monday. That's a good, you know what? Let me write that down. Sorry. I want to make sure I get this. Hold on. Okay. All right. So I wrote those down. So that way I don't forget. Tweet them out. Okay. And I'm sure we'll add some more to that. But great idea. Thank you, Rodrigo, for the suggestion. Have a good rest, dude. I'm assuming that's having to do with my possible time off, TV, radio, press, all of it. We're going to try and get all of it. Hound, Piers Morgan. Not a bad idea. Absolutely. I would definitely hound him as much as you want. That's someone we could throw on there starting Monday. Maureen, sounds good. Shadows of Your Mind, welcome, my dude. Sorry I'm reading this super late. I'm happy that you are here. I hope if you miss anything, please catch up, because we had some pretty good news on the big phone home, and as a strategy, a little meeting of strategy with the internet and all the friends here in the chat. So if you're thinking of anything, don't be afraid, throw it into the chat. Explorer Lab. Oh wait, hold on a second. We need to spread this channel on social media, tell people why they should watch it, get more people directed here would help. Well, hey, share this video, because I think this video specifically, this live stream, has got a lot of information about what we're doing and sort of the list that's coming. So folks that want some more information on the big phone home or what they can do starting Monday, starting this week, let them know, let them know that it's time to start reaching out to those celebrities, and let's all do it on the same day around the same time, so that the impact is greater than you just doing it by yourself. Do not be afraid to add me to any shout out to anyone you want. I will retweet it. I will also shout out at them. So if you come up with a good idea, don't be afraid to use my Twitter handle @LouAngelis. Don't be afraid. I encourage, definitely don't be afraid to use the hashtag the big phone home every single person we reach out to. It's almost a must. I've had to sort of remind myself, even with every tweet that I send, hey, put in the big phone. I know it's a pain in the ass. It's a long hashtag. I'm sorry about that, but I promise you it'll help in the long run. So those are the things you can do now. Not to underestimate the impact of your local newspaper. They get UAP reports, are really easy to contact and open-minded. 100%. That's a wonderful idea, Lab. A wonderful idea. Okay, yeah, newspapers. Let me write that down, because that's a great idea, man. Okay. Good idea, Lab. I dig that a lot. Okay, so that's exactly what UAP Media will be doing later this week. We're collating the relevant emails, Twitter accounts, etc. It's a slog and needs to be done the right way. Hey, man, I know it's a slog. Trust me. I just got done finished with that slog. I wonder, are you collating the relevant emails and Twitter accounts of parliament members, or are you doing that with celebrities? Are you doing that with U.S. congressmen and senators? If you are, you don't need to do that. I've already done it for you. But let me know, because I've got the list coming. So, and again, also, Dan, just keep in mind that, Dave, it's Dave. I'm talking to Dave right now. Keep in mind that we're going to be talking to Stephen Bassett this Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day. Man, are you guys going to be? I don't know what's going on over there for St. Patrick's Day. I've never been on that side of the pond. I know I'm going to be home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to any bars. I'm not drinking any green beer. So I'll be here having a conversation with Stephen Bassett. If you want to have a green beer while you listen to this conversation, please join us, because I'm also going to be asking him how international citizens can sway and persuade the American government to release more information. So don't miss out. This is also a very important discussion for you guys over there. Cool. So let's see here. I dream spreadsheets. Yeah, well, I'm terrible with spreadsheets. So maybe the two of us mix really nicely there, Dan. So yeah. And seeing though you are a living spreadsheet. If Vision were a spreadsheet, he'd be you. Oh man. Okay, I gotta watch you guys pop culture show, and I gotta get in on the discussions there, because I just got done watching WandaVision and I've got some opinions. I don't want this conversation to go off track though, so we're gonna keep the WandaVision maybe for the end. What is UAP transparency if not love persevering? You bastards, you're going to turn this into a WandaVision episode, and I don't want to go there. Sager speaks twice about UFOs on Lex, on the UFO segment and on the Joe Rogan segment of the interview. Tom Rogan has also been talking about UFOs a lot. I'd love to see Joe, and I'd love to see on Joe and on Lex. Tom Rogan. I'm trying to think who Tom Rogan is. I thought you meant Joe Rogan the first time. For some reason, his name is not ringing in my brain. I feel like I should know who that is. I feel like I do, but I can't think of who it is right now. Sorry. Brandy Phillips. Hello. Welcome, Brandy. I'm glad you're here. We will be doing it for Parliament members. At the moment, we're covering journalists who have touched on the issue in the UK. Okay, great. Well, hey, don't be afraid to share those journalists with us. We will also at them. The more journalists we have, again, just going back to what Lab said, newspaper journalists and of course, internet journalists are going to be key to get in touch with. So, share when that list is done, please do us a favor and send it our way because we can also reach out to them as well. There's no borders or rules when it comes to that from the US side of things. So if you guys need help there, let us know. What's the green beer? I've never seen that here. I guess that's a stupid American thing, but in America, on St. Patrick's Day, the Irish bars will dye their beer green for St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, maybe they only do that here. I don't know. Let me know. I do live in Wales, though. I mean, I don't know. When I think of St. Patrick's Day, I just think that the entire side of that part of the world just is everyone's Irish that day. Everyone. Well, at least that's the way it is here. When I used to be a younger lad anyway, and I would wander around the bars in New York City. James Fox, definitely let's knock on that door. Let's knock on that door really loudly. I think, that's right. Tom Rogan, Washington Examiner. Thank you for the reminder, Rodrigo. Yes, I would definitely reach out to Tom Rogan. I've got to also, I feel like I've seen an interview with him somewhere, but I haven't read a lot of his articles. So as soon as I'm done here, I'll go check some of his stuff out. So that's that, you guys. I also wanted to touch a little bit about this document here, and maybe some of you guys can add some clarification here for me. Because this was a big deal. It was a big hot topic over the weekend here, and I haven't read everything with this, so please forgive me. I don't want to give bad information here, but if you guys in the chat know exactly where this document came from, was this a FOIA request leak? This document? And it's an email between, I just don't know who this email is between. Obviously, it's between Captain U.S. Joe Gradisher, Captain U.S. Navy, retired. And this is incredibly interesting because basically what's going on here, if I'm not mistaken, don't forget to hit the like on your way out. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like on your way out. So this was a FOIA request, leak. Is that correct? So not leak, but it's a FOIA request. It's somebody requested this, and this is what they got. So this is between Jeff. Does anyone know who Jeff is? In regards, I mean, Joe is obviously Captain of the U.S. Navy. But it says, thanks for reaching out. Blank, it's redacted, is correct. From a public affairs perspective, all media inquiries on UAPs go to the DOT Public Affairs, Susan Go. She's CC'd, keeping me in the loop as we coordinate closely. To date, we have not authorized any media interviews on the topic or on the subject. Make no comment is what is highlighted. The nuances of this are such that any deviations from the statements that DoD makes result in multiple news stories and additional FOIA requests at various levels. If we need to, we'll coordinate with you on specific responses depending on the questions asked. Also, generally speaking, we let the normal FOIA process work as it's supposed to, ... But we have been requesting the FOIA offices coordinate with us on any UAP focused FOIA responses before they hit reply. So that new terms, language, etc., aren't introduced that complicate the overall messaging efforts. Additionally, there is now a security classification guidance document at the secret level that addresses the UAP issue and what may not be discussed publicly. Happy to get that to you if you see the need. Any questions, feel free to call me. Regards, Joe Gradisher, Captain U.S. Navy, retired. Interesting. So, okay, so yeah, so Black Vault just made a video about this time. Okay, so I definitely have to check it out because I'd love to sort of get some clarification. Jeff Jones, okay. Navison? I do not know how to pronounce that. Nazvasen. Is that right? Deputy Director for Safety Probe Promotions is seeking clarifications about a point of contact for media inquiries regarding UAPs. Okay, so Jeff Jones is the Jeff here, and he's a Deputy Director for Safety Promotions. Okay. So essentially, from what I'm gathering here, and the thing that sort of is really rowling some feathers is that the FOIA process, the thing that they highlighted and the thing that really stuck out to me, generally speaking, we let the normal FOIA process, the Freedom of Information Act process, work as it's supposed to. But but we have been requesting that the FOIA offices coordinate with us on UAP focused FOIA responses before they hit reply. So essentially, the FOIA office gets a request on a UAP or UFO or however they want to call it. Obviously, it's UAP. And before they reply to that request, they run that by, it looks like, the captain of the U.S. Navy or a captain of the U.S. Navy, to make sure that whatever they reply with is, I guess, approved. And also that, I think it's a language thing. They don't want them to reply with something, I guess, inside these FOIA requests that would add new terms or language, etc., so it doesn't complicate the overall messaging efforts from their end. Additionally, there is now security classifications document at the secret level that addresses the UAP issue and what may or may not be publicly discussed. So they're essentially getting the requests and then determining whether or not it should be secret, even though it's eligible for a FOIA request. So that's not the process. It's so they're telling them to take the FOIA request and then just say no comment. Is that right? Is that what I'm getting at here? NavSafeCen, short for Navy Safety Center. Okay. Them folks in power seeing sensitive emails about made public nervous. It was alluding to last year that Go was centralizing efforts and messaging, but here's a little deeper. Make no comment demands. Yeah, this seems to me like a very deliberate effort to control information that should be available for public consumption. A FOIA request is a Freedom of Information Act request. It is requesting information that should be available for public request. And once that request is made, assuming that information isn't classified, it should be released. And it seems like they are getting the FOIA requests on something, then they're review before they send that request back with the information that's requested. That request is then passed by a different part, someone outside of the FOIA process, and are basically asking, hey, here's the request. We're going to hit reply. Here's our reply. Is this okay that we reply to it with this? And based off of the information, that captain or that Navy intelligence officer or whoever is clearing or not clearing this info is really in control. So it doesn't, if it just basically, it's saying that a FOIA request is useless in my eyes. You know, it's essentially saying that FOIA requests don't mean shit, and we're going to no comment, and we're going to make, you know, we're not going to say anything, no matter what you demand, no matter what you ask for. It's a bold, it's a bold way of thinking, number one, to do something like that, because that, I'm pretty sure, is breaking protocol at best case scenario. Worst case scenario, I think you might be breaking some laws here, possibly. I don't know. I'd be very interested to talk to an attorney, because as far as I know, no one is supposed to be controlling FOIA requests except for that department. And if the request is valid and the request is specific, because I know, especially when it comes to UAP information, they have to be incredibly specific what they're asking for to get anything out of the FOIA department or the Department of Defense. So then to add this hurdle to it as well, it's like, what's the point? It's very disheartening and it kind of pisses me off a little bit. I don't know. I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see, and see if we get a response from Susan Go, or see if we get a response or some sort of comment from Joe Gradisher, or from Jeff from Navsef Sen, Jeff Jones here. Yeah, that's a weird email. That's a very concerning email, because does this extend past UAPs? Does this extend to other requests having to do with FOIA outside of the UAP topic? You know, if I want to, you know, if a reporter was asking for FOIA requests on something completely different, would it have to go through these checkpoints? That's an interesting question. This opens a can of worms here. I'm interested to see what happens. Probably nothing, because they make no comments. That's what they're going to do. I have a feeling. So we'll see. Public Affairs have asked to be kept in the loop on the FOIA process, which is not a good look. FOIA process is law, right? Yeah, it's not a good look at all. But I'm wondering if it's even legal. That's my question. Is it even legal? Because yeah, at worst case scenario, it's not a very good look. But also, I want to know, does this extend past UAPs? That's really the next question that people should be asking. Because if the FOIA process is being manipulated in any way on the UAP topic, then who's to say it's not being manipulated on any other topic? This does not look good. It does not look good. It also alludes to a secret guideline document that is not allowed to be discussed. It does. This is why you have people calling Lou Elizondo a disinformation agent. This is why you have people not believing what the government is saying right now. This is why we have the UFO community is split in half, because of shit like this, because of stuff like this. This is really, really, it's a step backwards. It's a step backwards, but at the same time, it's enlightening. It's also shining light on some of the dark corners of what goes on internally within our own government, dude. Like that is, you see, like when Stephen Bassett says, well, there's no reason to be angry. This pisses me off. Like this angers me. This would anger me if this was healthcare. This would anger me if this was any other subject, but it's not. It's UAPs. And so people are going to dust this off as no big deal. They're going to no comment it because it is you know, a silly topic, you know, according to a majority of Americans. But this is, it's, man, I'm speechless. Like, I can't believe the gall, the nerve, the temerity, the just blatant disrespect to the process. This is why people don't trust our government. It's really sad. It's mainly to avoid headlines and increase FOIA interest, which is ridiculous. I agree. To be honest, when you see how distorted an information can be crunched by some platforms, I understand why they want to streamline their answers. The problem is that Mrs. Go holds the keys, in my opinion. I also I agree with what you're saying here, Lab. Like, I could understand maybe the Navy or the Department of Defense wanting to control the message. That's like maybe their only defense here, and it's not a terrible one. Because again, you're trying to control a hydra, you know, an animal with multiple heads here. And if one of those heads snaps or says something that goes out of what the messaging has been, especially the last 3 or 4 years, that could cause some problems. You know, that can make people maybe look into a place that they don't want people to look with a FOIA request. So I can understand wanting to streamline messaging, but then send out a memo, have a meeting, talk about it with them. You know, if you're gonna do this, have a meeting and say, okay, here's the guidelines of things that you can release and talk about through a FOIA request, and these are the guidelines that cannot be. And if there's a checkpoint, if there's someone that is sort of the final say on that, fine. But the way it's worded here, it doesn't seem like you're doing that at all. Like, you're not getting opinions. It's, you're going to report what is requested, and then we are going to approve it, period, end of story. And that's not how FOIA requests work. Oh man, damn. All right. I can't call in. Lou is smashing it though. I'm better as the guy in the chair to help. Well, dude, I appreciate it. If you guys want to call in, let me know. I will take some calls if you guys want to call in, so don't be shy. If that's something you guys are interested in, just let me know in the chat, and I will take calls. No problem. Agreed. At Explorer Lab, it makes sense to be on the same page, but FOIA processes is law. If something can be accessed, it should be given. They're breaking that trust. 100% agreed. He sure. Oh, wait. Let me put that up so you guys can read it as well. Wait, was that it? Yeah, they're breaking that trust. So, don't be disheartened, Lou. Can't fix a problem if we don't know it exists. Yeah, you're right. That's absolutely true. You cannot fix a problem. Well, I mean, we knew this problem existed, though. Deep down, we all knew. Like, we all knew this is what's going on. But when we say it, we sound crazy. And this document in 5 days will be forgotten. 10 days, 15, 20, 30, a year from now. Like, this will not be... You know, people won't be pulling this out as like, hey, see, here's the proof that the government is covering shit up. Here's the proof that they're being deceptive. Here's the proof. You know, this is a damning document. It really, really is. Because, you know, it should make you feel a little bit better on some levels that your gut instincts are right. Like, they know more than they're letting on. And that's why we're doing the big phone home. That's why we're requesting more information, because forget about a FOIA request. They can do this shit with a FOIA request, but when it comes from a senator asking for this information because that senator or congressman got 1,500 phone calls about it over the weekend, they can't ignore that. They can't circumvent that. When a senator starts asking for these things, they're going to release something to satisfy that appetite. So I agree with you. I'm not disheartened. It motivates me even more. I did say it was disheartening, but as I'm thinking, it's adding fuel to the fire. But it is a little sad. It just sucks. It just sucks that they have to be like that with this information. It's not necessary, man. It's not necessary. Furthermore, limiting the vocabulary isn't for a better understanding, but to further prevent FOIA on new terms used in FOIA answers. Yep, I agree. I 100% agree. They're trying to limit and make sure nothing else slips. Because let's say if there's a different term they're using, because UAP, they were using that for years. And it wasn't until somebody figured out or caught wind of it and started requesting FOIA documents under the term UAP until they started releasing stuff. So it's, and I'm sure they don't want a term or something along those lines to be released in a FOIA request, because now they're going to get a ton of FOIA requests on that term or that word or that acronym. And it opens up a whole nother can of worms of something that they didn't want to talk about in the first place. So yeah, man, I agree. I'm glad the document came out. We know what we're fighting against. Very revealing, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we got to take the positives out of it, right? So for sure, Rodrigo. Public comment on the YouTube that John's video explaining this document was boring. Do the 5. Yeah, I don't know what that's in reference to. But yeah, I gotta watch the it's was it It's Redacted that just did, or who was it again? Sorry, Strafe, that did a video on this. I'll go back in the comments and check it out. But as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna watch the video regarding this document here. But let's see here. All right, so divide and conquer principle. Yes, we have to divide and conquer. It's the only way we're gonna tackle this multi-headed problem. As always, the solution here is for them to talk about it. For whatever reason, someone must be desperate not to discuss this. Shining our torchlight in their direction made them nervous. Yeah. Yes, and I hope the big phone home makes them even more nervous. I hope it really does, because I hope they are put in a tough spot where they're going to have to release something juicier than what they've given us so far. And when I say juicier, I mean more data filled. Doesn't have to be sensational. I just want data. It shows that we are onto them. Rabbit in the headlights. Yep. We need a bigger torch. Indeed, we do. Indeed, we do. The torch gets brighter every day. The more people we get on this train, the more that the brighter that light gets. That is for sure. Beyond that, excuse me, guys. Let me get some water. Beyond that, by the fact that they want to limit the vocabulary, we can deduct that they use other words besides UAPs. We can look into that by using Space Force lexicon, for example, for FOIA. Hey, man. Space Force lexicon, that's interesting. I don't know where you pulled that from, but that is cool. I mean, try it. You never know, man. You never know. You never know. It makes me wonder just why they're doing it. What are they so worried about? We'll find out. That's what that they know everything, or that they know nothing. It's a good question, man. I don't know the Black Vault thing, Strafe. I don't know. I think I don't know, but my theory would be that they do know. Let's say we have 1% of the information, the overall information. I would assume the government has 6% of the overall information in regards to what this phenomenon is. And that 6% of information that they do know, that they have as facts, isn't enough to answer what the remaining 94% of this phenomena is. And they don't want to be put in a situation where they have to answer those questions with, we don't know. Especially from a security standpoint, because as taxpayers, we are paying you to know what's in our skies. We're paying you for that. So I think that's the biggest reason why they don't want us to find out anything, because the truth is they don't know anything. They're just as perplexed by it as we are, and they even have more information than we do. The hope in that releasing, let's say, 4% of that 6%, so now we know 5% of the 6%, the public, that is, and let that 5% be scrutinized and studied by science and ripped apart and experimented on and repeated over and over and over. Let it be an open source study and let us help you with that 6%. Like, I think the internet and everyday public citizens can help you guys figure out some of these questions that maybe you don't have answers to. Let's figure it out as a human species, not as a department. If you've got 1 million people working on it, it's better than 4. You're going to get more answers. And yeah, those answers might be scary. And yeah, those answers are completely unknown and can bring some really scary revelations or some wonderful revelations. But we don't know unless we all take a look at it together. But controlling this information, I don't think is serving anyone any good. That is for sure. A sociologist wrote that any group try to survive. The goal of the army isn't to protect the country, but to appear as a necessity to protect the country by showing them how much they do know they show. I agree for sure. But still, we pay them to do that. Their powerlessness, inadequacy, and obsolescence, they are trying to survive as a group. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I just got done watching The Crown, and that show is all about maintaining the crown and how the crown and the monarchy is beyond the person that wears the crown, and that it must always be put first to survive. Because if the crown crumbles, there goes their entire way of life as a family. And I'm sure that mentality goes to the army and any other big organized, point of power. So let's see here. If it's the case that they've thrown the smartest minds on the planet at this and it still eludes us, why would that make you worry? Or would you find it encouraging that they're trying? I wouldn't find it encouraging that they're trying. What would make me worry is that they're not going to get the answer with, a handful of the smartest minds on it. Because sometimes you're going to have maybe some minds that think differently for things. But the point is, we want more of these smartest minds. And I think if we put a message out there that, hey, we've got technology and we need you to figure it out. We need the young minds, the growing kids, the up and coming scientists, the up and coming physicists, the up and coming astronauts and chemists. We need you guys to figure out how this works. I mean, how many minds it would inspire? I don't know why they maybe that's just the inherent nature of it's almost like a mother. They always worry. They're always going to worry, no matter how assured they are that they shouldn't be. There's always going to be worry. So it's too big a problem to be in the hands of so few. I agree. The crown, the firm is such an odd thing, right? Yes, totally. Totally. It's a machine. All right. It is a machine. So you guys, I've been going for an hour and a half. My voice is starting to get a little coarse and I'm out of water. So I think I'm going to bring this to an end, but I want to say thank you to everyone who joined us today. If you caught us at the end, please go back and watch the developments that we have on the Big Phone Home, because there are some really, really fun ones, some big ones. The biggest one that we're moving the event from Monday, April 26th to Saturday, April 24th, which, by the way, is the anniversary of the Lonnie Zamora case. So, I'm sure we'll be talking about that on that day as well. So it fits nicely. It's a good date. We're going to pack the hell out of sending me emails. We're going to reach out like maniacs on Twitter. We're going to, load emails. We're going to request and encourage senators and congressmen to come and talk to us. So get ready, you guys. It's going to be a really, really fun day. Me and Michael Mataluni have been talking behind the scenes of how we're going to run this, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of voices. We're going to have a lot of people stop through. Of course, I hope you guys, Dan and Dave and Andy over there, I hope you guys come through on the day of and join us on the live stream, because we would love to have your voices on that day and just talk UFOs the whole day. We're going to be talking about UFOs the whole day. And we're going to be talking about what you could do from an activism standpoint. We're going to be tweeting. We're going to be hopefully talking to congressmen. We're going to be talking to filmmakers. We're going to be talking to, government insiders. We're going to be talking to all of them. And we're going to have a great discussion on April 24th. So get ready for it, you guys. I'm really excited. Again, I'm hoping to have all of the details. Just go back. I'm not going to talk about them again, because if not, I'll go for another 40 minutes. So rewind. If you missed it, just rewind and check it out. We got a lot of exciting stuff happening. As always, a pleasure. Thanks, Lou. Thank you, Rodrigo. And there's also aspect of how much is in SAPs and private hands for sure. Andy Oates, thanks for the work, dude. Fun chat again, everyone. That's a good point. And maybe we don't know. We know everything. It could be. So, yep, for sure. Rest those vocal cords, Lou. Thank you for the show. Always great discussion. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Signal. Thank you, Shadows of Your Mind. Thank you, Strafe. Thank you, Explorer Lab. Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you, Andy Oates. Thank you. I know there's some people in here. Thank you, Brandy Phillips. Thank you, Rusty. All of everyone who was here in the chat. I'm sorry we did not have Patricia Avant on today. Hopefully we'll have her on sometime early April, and we'll get her on. We'll talk about her movie, Black People Do See UFOs. I'm dying to talk about this flick. So thank you guys so much for coming aboard, getting weird with me here on another episode of the Unidentified Celebrity Review, your home for credible news, reviews, and commentary on everything UFOs. Until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.
Unidentified.